I believe it is 1 o'clock sharp. Are we ready? Should I take it away, Andrea?
Yes, please do.
All right, great. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for attending today. I am Heather Ferreri, for those of you who don't know me, the director of the IRB HSR. And I just wanted to speak for a minute on why we wanted to hold this demo. We wanted to do this today because we recognize that our homegrown protocol builder system is aging, and we're currently exploring other available options. And thus we wanted to invite Mike Brown here today. Mike is the Senior Director of Client Services at BRANY, and he is going to present BRANY's Protocol Builder and Informed Consent Builder to us today. There will be an opportunity to ask questions. You should see on the bottom of your screen a Q&A option. And then we will also send out a follow-up survey after this demo to share your thoughts and input on these systems. If we run out of time today and we don't get to all your questions, the questions are captured here and we will send out responses afterwards. This demo is also being recorded, and therefore we can share it afterwards with others who were not able to attend today, or if you want to view it again, it will be available to you after today as well. So I think with all of that, I will just hand it over to Mike Brown and let him take it away. Thanks so much, Mike, for being here today, and welcome.
Thank you, Heather and Andrea, for having me, and nice to meet everybody on the call, even though I can't see you. But it just looks like me, Heather, and Andrea here. But yeah, nice to meet everyone. You all can still see my screen, Heather and Andrea, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. And Heather and Andrea, feel free to jump in at any time. Highlight anything that that may sound important for you guys at UVA. But yes, as Heather pointed out, I'm here to talk about Protocol Builder and Informed Consent Builder. So it is a product of BRANY IRB, which I work for. We've been in IRB for 25 years, accredited for 22 of those, I believe, operate independently. But we are owned by North Shore LIJ, Montefiore NYU, and Mount Sinai. We also own the City Program, HRP Consulting, One Aegis, or IRB Manager, and the Protocol Builder software that we're about to talk about today. So being for an IRB for this long, we've heard about the challenges with protocols. That's investigators would rather spend their time on the actual research. It could be a difficult, inefficient process and burdensome for investigators. On the IRB side, and the admin side, they may be receiving poorly written protocols, incomplete protocols that could slow down the entire review process. And so both sides want to speed things up and have less back and forth. Investigators want to get it right the first time. And we certainly recognize that residents and new investigators can have the most challenges with their first time, interacting with the research process. Protocol Builder is also a great tool for GME and scholarly activity. We also recognize that there are limited resources for research training, limited bandwidth for research projects, and then faculty, staff, and mentors may have limited time to guide people through the research process for the first time. And so how we try to address these unmet needs is with a guided, structured environment with deeper guidance. It's ideal for teaching and helping people write protocols. We have great tools for progress tracking, ability to compare revisions. We have a full range of protocol templates outside the box. Protocol Builder comes with 15 stock templates, but everything is easily customizable. So Heather and Andrea and I have just been kind of having a couple of preliminary conversations about what might work in terms of any customizations to our stock templates. And again, it's a really great collaborative tool. And so Protocol Builder is an online protocol portal. It's hosted on Amazon Web Services. And again, we provide that structured guidance and tools for writing your protocol. You can output in Word, PDF, ability to add appendices as well. So you can add consent forms, survey materials, investigator agreements, whatever you want. You can actually make it your whole entire package for the IRB. Again, we have low-cost customizations, with pretty much everything within Protocol Builder. We actually just did a complete customized build for Merck, which took us, almost a year, but they really wanted very specified. So, we have the ability to make it how you want it. We support single sign-on and even data exchange with electronic IRB systems and other systems as well, as long as where the data is going to or coming from has an open API interface. We can work to communicate with other systems, fields, or the actual protocol, whatever you all need. Protocol Builder was launched in 2015, first commercial software specifically for developing research protocols. Currently used by, this number is probably closer to 60 now, universities, hospitals, pharma companies, device startup companies, IRB offices, GME programs. We currently have over 15,000 users and 6,000 plus protocols in the system. Some of our clients on the hospital side include Children's National, Morristown Medical, Nicholas Children's, Western Reserve, Ochsner Health, Montefiore. On the academic side, we have Yale, Boston University, George Washington, North Carolina, University of Michigan, who's not on here, and another number of other universities. We even have a contract with the Army Medical Center. Here are some nice things that people said about Protocol Builder from our current users. But at this time, and one other thing I wanted to point out is Protocol Builder also comes with a free addition to the city program. So you get this research study design course with your subscription to Protocol Builder, completely free, added to your existing modules. Again, if you sign up with Protocol Builder. At this time, I kind of want to just hop over into Protocol Builder itself and show you all the ropes. So here is your login screen. I am just going to go through these menu items here on the top briefly and show you how this works. So Protocol Builder included with your license is complete help and support. We don't charge for every time you call the help desk or how many trainings you want. For our bigger university clients, sometimes I'll do 2 or 3 trainings a year for new crops of students or investigators, whatever's needed. That basically entails what I'm about to show you today, which is how to write and produce a protocol in Protocol Builder. In addition to that, we have a number of helpful videos here that show you how to do pretty much every function within Protocol Builder, as well as we have the help desk based in the United States that's open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm always available to help people out as well. We have PDF training guides and things of that nature. So complete 360 support. There's not really, technical issues. People usually call to say, forgot our password or how do I do this or that? But we're happy to help in any instance. Here, this next little silhouette icon here, next over to the left, is your profile with your demographic, organizational information, as well as your reference library. So you can export from EndNote, Mendeley, PubMed, anything that outputs in a RIS or NBIB file, upload that to here, and you're building your reference library. This is additive as well, so you can add 5 references on Monday, 5 on Tuesday. You'll have 10 references. It's not going to overwrite, but you can build your reference library here, and I'll show you exactly how that interfaces with Protocol Builder once we get into the writing process. This little globe over here is just our resource center, a link, a number of helpful links and information from regulatory agencies, funding agencies, just, kind of an exhaustive list that we keep adding to help people, during the research process. One icon over to the left is your contacts. So if you're a single user, you see yourself here. Administrators like Heather and Andrea will have access to see all the users within your system, as well as be able to run reports about, how many protocols people are writing, what type of protocols, what stage they're in, etc. The documents, this little file cabinet here is your documents. So you have all your protocols that you've initiated or have been assigned to. One thing, and administrators can run reports on these as well. One thing I like to point out here is if you have a published version of a protocol, which I'll show you all later, or consent form, we just have this nice little tool here, which allows you to duplicate it easily. So if you don't want to reinvent the wheel, you feel like a lot of the language that you've already put in there, could be used for another protocol or consent form, just hit this duplicate button and it'll create a carbon copy. Not really going to go over the administrative functions too much. Heather and Andrea and I have talked about those, but happy to expand on if needed. But I figured we'd get right into the protocol writing process. So here's your homepage. Your administrators here can edit this text right here and roll out any pertinent information to the research community that they want to. They can completely update this on the back end. Here we'll roll out any important news about Protocol Builder and any updates, which we are rolling out version 2.0, hopefully by the end of the year, which I'll talk about a little bit towards the end, and some of the planned upgrades that we should be rolling out. Here's your quick pick list. So these are your last 3 protocols that you accessed or worked on. So again, you can access things from the documents, the filing cabinet here, the documents page, or the quick pick list here. But start a protocol, you click start document, call this UVA demo, and then you're going to pick your principal investigator. So there's a number of ways to add people into Protocol Builder. Again, we can do single sign-on. If we have a spreadsheet here that your administrators can upload a list of first names, last names, email address to, and then that automatically shoots out an email to everybody, gives everyone access. So if you don't want to do single sign-on, we make it kind of easy in that way. We can do that for you all as well. So if somebody's already loaded into the system, you'll find their name here. If it's yourself, obviously, you'll already be there. And then we also have a protocol template wizard. So here's a list of our stock templates out of the box, 15 different templates. And then we also have a template wizard. So if you're unsure about what type of protocol template would be best for you, you can click on the template assistant here. That'll open up in a new page and ask you a series of yes, no questions, and explain what each template entails, and we'll get you to the right template. But Heather and Andrea, what do you think would probably be a good template to quickly take a look at today?
I would say something with FDA or NIH.
Okay. So let's do an IND protocol. Okay, perfect. Oh yeah, you guys are going through a visit at the time. Yep.
Which we passed, but so
congrats. Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, so yeah, we selected a new drug study. So based on the template that you selected on the previous screen, Protocol Builder is going to populate these sections and subsections. Minus our QA/QI template, which is a little different. Most of the templates are going to be kind of the same for sections 1, 2, 3, and 4-ish. You're going to have your background, your introduction, your rationale, and your study objectives. And then once you get down to these later sections, 5 and later, it's going to get really specific about the information that it's going to solicit. So we picked the drug study, so it's going to ask about the drug, the identity of the IND, the dosing, the admin schedule, the randomization, the safety reporting, things like that. You can see all the subsections that have been populated here. Again, all this stuff is completely customizable. We work with a lot of clients and a lot of different type of clients, so we try to keep something that can apply to most in our development of these templates, which also have been vetted by our IRB, which is accredited IRB, as I mentioned earlier, and the outside third party. So we think we're providing you with the best, most complete information to get a protocol over to the IRB or the next review process at your institution. And then how Protocol Builder works is you'll start with your cover page. Whatever section we select over here will be displayed here, and you can just move this menu out of the way if you want to focus on this. But you'll go through setting up your cover page with your study title, protocol number, if applicable, IND number, investigational product identity, things like that. And then here's another way that you can add users either to the system or to the protocol that you're working on. So again, if someone's already in the system, either through SSO or an upload through our spreadsheet, you'll just be able to start typing their name and find them here. If they're not yet in the system, or if you're collaborating with someone outside of UVA, we recognize that research is a collaborative process, and our licenses are for unlimited users and unlimited protocols. So you can work with someone at University of Michigan, Princeton, even if they're not a protocol builder subscribers. Start typing their name in there, click search database. It's going to tell you that, oh, they're not in here. Enter their email address. It'll confirm that they're not in the system, but ask you if you want to add them. And just as a researcher, you can just click yes, and it'll invite them to reset their password and work on the protocol with you. So you don't need to go through any like approval process or things like that. You can invite collaborators to work on the protocol with you. We also can do the flip side and do this for some institutions. Some institutions want to limit it to people with the UVA domain, so we could restrict access, that way as well. And then when you're adding new people, you're going to identify their user role, so they can be writers or reviewers, meaning they're going to be able to edit any of the information within the protocol. They could have read-only access, where they'll be able to see everything, but they can only use our commenting feature. And then we also have a personnel listing. So if you have like a pharmacist or a phlebotomist or what have you, and you just want them in a nice, neat section listed in the protocol, you can do that there. We also have some other just roles that we've added that have been helpful from feedback from our clients. So we have a sponsor contact, medical monitor, again, the key personnel, and we have research administrators as well. So I'll just briefly touch on this. It's more of an administrative function, but for scientific review boards or the IRB and any committees where an administrator would want access to everything, and you don't want to add people one by one. You can add people automatically to each protocol so that they would have access to the protocol. So as administrators, they'll have access to the high level study information, all the title, the name, the type of protocol, etc. But they can grant themselves, or people can grant them access to the actual protocol as well. So you can work that pretty much however you like. And so at this point, I'm going to log out of the IND template we created and log into our show protocol, which will be able to show you all the functions and how to actually write a protocol. So here's your duplicate button as well. If you want to make a carbon copy of a protocol you've already created, you just click that. But here's a protocol that we've already started working on. It is a phase 3 diabetes intervention protocol. And so here, just off the break, you can see these sections have populated a little differently. Where it's not focused on the drugs because it's not an IND trial. So we have a different template here, and thus different sections and subsections have been populated. We have a synopsis section here, which is linked to the relevant subsections. So a primary objective, for example, whatever information, whatever writing you do in section 4.2 will be linked to the primary objective in the synopsis, and vice versa. So these are mirrored and forever connected. So anything you enter in the synopsis will be changed in 4.2 for you, and if you change it in 4.2, it'll change in the synopsis. But just we match up, we link up these little subsections here that we've identified. So it's already creating a synopsis for you in Protocol Builder. There's been some for 2.0 some discussions about using AI to auto-generate a synopsis for you as well. So that's one of the things that we're exploring for the next version of Protocol Builder. And I'll highlight some other things that we're talking about as we move through the demo as well. But here you have your progress meter. So this is reflective of your progress on the study. So if you see these little gray and green circles on the side, that corresponds to the percentage completed here in the progress meter. So within every subsection, you'll have the opportunity to save something as a draft or as complete. If you save it as a draft, it'll give you this gray circle. If you save it as complete, it gives you the green circle. So it lets you know, what work is still yet to be done. And you can also have people working on different sections at the same time. You can have someone in the study objectives section, and then somebody else working on the risk section, trial administration, or whatever you want. So, multiple users working in the protocol at the same time. Now I'm just going to open up a section here and kind of show you how the writing process works. So with each section of Protocol Builder, you're going to have most of our sections have what we call tooltips, which is this little guidance here over in this yellow box I opened over here. So it just gives you some, some general information. Again, we try to keep it, as applicable to everyone as possible. But all this stuff that I'm about to show you is very customizable, so we can incorporate current guidance, processes, procedures, instructions into Protocol Builder as necessary. But most of our sections, again, out of the box, we'll have these tooltips here, and then we have an opportunity for instructions here to be edited, and then we also have sample text, so you can create as many drop downs as you like for sample text. Here's just a couple sentences to help you start writing the section. Click insert and it'll pop it into the section down here for you. Here is our commenting tool. So as I mentioned before, you could have writer access or read-only access. Obviously, if you have the writer access, you'll be able to edit anything in the text editors. If you have read-only access, you won't be able to edit this information, but you can provide these comments in the margin here, and you do that just by figuring out where you want to comment, start writing your comment, saving it, and then it's going to number it for you too, which is nice. So it points you to the exact section that you're talking about, and you can continue a conversation over here in the margin. Some of our users use this for maybe like a scientific review board or an ancillary committee discussion here. I'll show you some other features for doing that as well. But yeah, they would have a reviewer, provide comments at a high level. It's also great for the mentor mentee relationship as well. And then, so taking a look at the actual writing process. So here we just have a knockoff Microsoft Word text editor that's familiar to everyone with bold, formatting, ability to insert links. We also have a nice little easy table tool where you can just select the number of rows and columns if you have a study visit schedule or what have you, and then just pop that in there as such. We also have we call charts, but there's basically our euphemism for editable graphics. So if you created a pie chart, or you have a picture, a JPEG, a PNG file, something that you want to add into the protocol, you can upload those to the list of charts here on the left, and then just select it from the list and insert it in there as well. Here are the references that I talked about before. So you'll see these little R's littered throughout the writing. And that is because Protocol Builder is going to automatically number and format your references for you within the section and in the final output as well, which we'll take a look at in a second. But basically, you find the space where you want to insert your reference. Click on your reference tool, and here's your list of references that you may have imported from an online library. You can also add references one by one if you don't have an online reference library, so you can do that either way. And then you're just going to click insert. It'll pop in the little R, and again, it's nice to, if you highlight, hover over it, it'll tell you exactly what reference. But again, it's going to be auto numbered and formatted for you. We have a footnote tool that works pretty much in the same way. It'll just give you a little F instead of a little R, and you can just enter your footnote there, and those come out lettered instead of numbered in the final output. We have glossary terms, so you can create a glossary simply by highlighting a word, clicking on the glossary button, typing out the definition of that word, and it'll add it in your glossary over here on the left-hand side, and then also in the final output as well. And then with abbreviations here, here we abbreviated immunosuppression simply by highlighting it, spelling the word out, and it'll add it to your abbreviations here on the left, and then also in the final output. And then we just have some symbols and equation symbols for more of the technical writing that you're able to insert in there as well. Let me show you now one of my favorite features. So as I mentioned before, you're going to have the opportunity to save every section that you create as either complete, which will give it the green circle, or as a draft, which will give it the gray circle over in the left-hand menu. Every time you do either of those, Protocol Builder is going to track exactly what was done. So any text that was removed will be with a red strike through button, red strike through, and anything that was added will be in green bold. And then you have the ability to compare it again to the most recent version. So a really nice tool for tracking everyone's contribution. Again, different clients use Protocol Builder in different ways. So, for example, some of our clients maybe could create the scientific review board, Protocol Builder account. And then if they want to, create proposed track changes, they could do that here as well. And then every time, someone makes a change, you save it either as draft or as complete. Protocol Builder is going to keep a running list of that for you here. So you have the date, even the minute, and obviously the person who made the change listed here for you in this drop-down menu. And you can revert to an older version very easily just by clicking on it. And then save that as a draft. If you realize you kind of royally messed up your protocol and you want to revert to a version that you did back in October of 2023, just click that as the new draft, and that'll put it at the top of the list. And then you can keep working from there. So every single change within every section is tracked. And when we get to the publishing stage, I'll show you as well how between versions it's tracked as well. So it'll automatically produce a summary of changes for you. We have a revision log here that kind of shows you the same information, just in a nice report form. And it also assigns a ticket number to you as well, so you can refer to that instance of the protocol section by that. And we also have a needs review tab as well. So this also is helpful for ancillary committees or passing, sections back and forth within a study team or to a mentor, to the PI. I have this turned off for the purposes of the demo, but basically when you save a section, either as draft is complete and you have your notifications turned on, a box will pop up and allow you to enter someone's name and also write them a little message, and that'll send that within the system to that person that you've identified and allow them to review it, acknowledge, or approve the language that's been proposed in that section. And then again, here you have a complete history of every time that was done. So that's pretty much how to write a protocol in Protocol Builder, and then the compare revisions feature as well as the commenting feature. Heather and Andrea, before we go to kind of the next little section of the demo and showing the publishing, anything else that I might have missed or you wanted me to highlight?
I just had a comment asking if we could go over the NIH protocol, or your what's in Protocol Builder is exactly the same format and everything as the NIH template. Is that correct?
Yeah. I can pop one of those open. Let me I'll just finish going through the publishing, and then we'll go back to that, and absolutely we can take a look at that template.
Thank you.
Yep. And so with Protocol Builder, at any point you have the opportunity to export what you've done just by going down to this little gear here on the bottom. And you can export that as a Word, a PDF. You can share it by email, invite people to review, etc. How Protocol Builder is meant to be used. Again, people use it different ways. So, but how it's meant to be used is to enter information in every subsection, that's been created. So again, we realize people have different, there might be little differences, and even within study templates, and so maybe you have to enter an NA in one of these, but we try to make this so that there's relevant information that needs to be completed in each protocol template. And so the idea of Protocol Builder is to turn all these gray circles green by entering information into each subsection. And then that will allow you to start publishing and versioning within Protocol Builder. So again, at any point you could take it, if it's half completed, just output it as a Word or a PDF and submit that to the IRB. But Protocol Builder really, it's designed to help people enter information into each one of these sections to produce a complete protocol for the next step in the process. And then once you have done that, it'll start versioning for you. So you see all the versions here on the side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That has been done once we have turned all these gray circles green, entered information, and created, a complete version 1 of the protocol. This is kind of your HTML online view of where we are in this protocol. I'll show you all the PDF version in a moment. It looks, a little cleaner, nice as a PDF. But this is nice to just hop in here and take a look at where you are with the protocol. You can easily click edit or comment and go back to the edit and commenting screens that I showed earlier. Protocol Builder is also going to, here we have our abbreviations and our glossaries. Those are auto-generated and auto-formatted for us, as with everything else in protocol, in the same font. Here you have the synopsis that I was showing earlier. And your tables will also be automatically numbered for you as created within Protocol Builder. It's also going to produce a table of contents for you, which is really nice. So a linkable table of contents, which is also incorporated into Microsoft Word and Adobe's table of contents creation as well. So you get this linkable and incorporated into the outputs of Word and Adobe as well. So for example, if you want to take a look at the study population, you click on that, pop down there, and there you are. If you want to further edit it or comment it, just click on those. It'll open a new window for you, and you can further edit or comment on that section. What I was talking about with the completeness of Protocol Builder and versioning, this is why it's important if you want to use it in that fashion. It's going to automatically create a summary of changes from version 1 to version 2. So I was showing you all earlier, we have that compare revisions within each section of Protocol Builder. This is kind of how we do it from version 1 to version 2. So you have an amendment 6 months down the line, you're adding, you're increasing your study enrollment, or you found some new risks that you want to identify. Anything that you've changed between version 1 and version 2 when you're publishing your protocols is also going to be tracked by Protocol Builder and produced automatically in the summary of changes. So you have all the language that was added and everything in green, and everything that was removed with the red strike through. Additionally, it's going to allow you to provide rationale, which is great. So it doesn't leave the IRB or the next step in the review process guessing about what change was made, number 1, and number 2, where the change or why the change was made. So you can provide your rationale of increasing your study target because you need more statistical significance, or whatever the impetus for whatever change you made is. So again, you have the reference, the summary of changes between versions, and then within each version you have the compare revisions. So complete auditing and tracking throughout the life of the protocol. Going backward from the summary of changes, here you have your references that are auto outputted for you in MLA style, and these are linkable as well. So you can just click on number 3. That'll take you up to the first time number 3 appears, and click on 3 here. It'll take you down to your reference there, so you can easily reference your references. Here's your list of tables, your appendices as well. A part I kind of probably just glossed over, but let's take a look at your appendices. So here you can add, again, consent forms, investigator agreements, survey materials, etc., whatever you want. And Protocol Builder will, link those up for you, put them in the table we just looked at in the final output, and start numbering them for you. So you can further edit those here and add them here, as well as, in your final output. The abbreviations and the glossaries, the same as well. So add anything in these little tabs here beyond the last numbered section, you have the ability to further edit or delete those as well. You saw we kind of created them live as we were working within the document. But again, you can go to your abbreviations, your glossaries, your references, and further edit those as needed. And here are these are the notifications you can turn on and off for, every time you save a section, having a notification button pop up for you. And then we have our tooltips. You can choose to have those auto open for you, or, if you want to hide them, they can be hidden for you. Let me just show you all what it looks like in a PDF form. And then we will go back and I'll show the NIH template, Heather. and then open it up for more questions. And I'll talk a little bit about Protocol Builder 2.0 too. Okay, so here is an output of Protocol Builder that I'm going to drag over to this screen in 1 second.
Mike, can you also mention and at some point just how ancillary reviews can be done in Protocol Builder?
Yeah, I think we kind of, I can go over that again. But yeah, you can use the commenting feature, the needs review tab, and you know, we can build in a system as well. You know, if you want like a routing and a signature, we actually did this for the Merck project, where they wanted some type of routing built within Protocol Builder. So we can certainly do that. And I'll show you that in a second again.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no worries. But here's, you know, the PDF output looks a little cleaner. Here is the space where you can put a logo. So as administrators, you know, your administrators can upload a logo here that'll be on every protocol, as well as a confidentiality statement. Your administrators have the ability to do that, to put that on every protocol. But just, you know, kind of the same information that we looked at in the HTML preview. Here's your study personnel listed for you, nice, neat, in a box. Your synopsis. You know, everything's kind of boxed off and sectioned off a little nicer. But again, here you have your table of contents, which is again linkable in the final output. But just, you know, at its basic level, most basic level, it's a great time-saving tool for creating the protocol. You're not having to worry about formatting or, you know, required sections or tracking or versioning or anything like that. You know, everything is tracked within you with Protocol Builder, outputted within the same font and the same spacing and everything like that. So that is, you know, what it looks like as a PDF. Again, you have the option for Word and to be able to add your appendices. They would just show up at the end of the PDF here if we had outputted with adding the appendices. And yeah, that's kind of the writing process in a nutshell. Let's just go back and talk about the ancillary reviews. So, you know, it's really it's how you want to use Protocol Builder. You know, people use it in a couple of different ways. You know, we have some users that, you know, for as the single or the scientific review board. You know, they'll just use the commenting feature here to point people to, you know, what comments they have, you know, or how they want things to be changed. We have other people's that may create a scientific review board account and then recommend changes by actually making the proposed changes within Protocol Builder. And so you could do it that, you know, this would be, you know, recommended changes by scientific review board or what have you, you know, or the oncology committee or whatever. And then people could go through and either accept those changes or, you know, reply with what their thoughts are. Let me turn on the needs review tab for a second. So for the notifications, I think this is how it works. And then another way is with the needs review tab within the compare revisions. Here you go. If you have on your notifications and you click save on a section with new information you've added or changes or what have you, you have an opportunity to enter a note here about, you know, what the changes are, why they were made, and select either a user that's on an ancillary committee, or again, if you want to create an account called ancillary committee, and then, you know, you could send it over via Protocol Builder in that way. So again, it's kind of flexible in terms of how you want to think about that and use that in what's best for your own processes. And then all that stuff that we just showed in terms of like ancillary committee review, you know, is tracked here. So every time you propose a change and send it over to a different user or committee or what have you, that can be tracked. And then we have done, again, you know, custom builds for people. I think the way we did the Merck was we had on the cover page or the publish page or something, you know, like once it's complete, you know, with a little box saying, you know, what's the next step in this process, who does it have to go to, et cetera. So we can internally route within Protocol Builder as well. just again, everybody has different processes, so but happy to explore that. Sorry, go ahead. We're gonna say something, Andrea.
Yeah, could you show where a letter could also be uploaded for a section?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, thank
absolutely.
you.
Right. Yep. But yeah, as with the ancillary committee review, or really um whatever you want within Protocol Builder, in each section, you also have the option to add an attachment. So if you have an approval from an ancillary committee, you can add that here as well, and that'll automatically be appendicized, if that's the word, or put in the appendix, and then you'll see the attachment here as well. So within each subsection too, you can add attachments, as well, and that process will again be auto formatted for you and put in the output, at the end as well. Um, Anything else? I was going to talk about consent builder a little bit, then go back to the NIH template, and then open it up for questions. Unless Andrea, Heather, you had anything right now?
And you may be prepared to talk about this anyway with you when you talk about the updates to 2.0, but I know you said AI was gonna version 2.0 was gonna use AI to help generate sections or write
Yep.
sections. Yep.
Yeah. We're so we've contracted a company to, number one, give Protocol Builder a facelift. It's going to look a lot more modern. To add new functionality and capabilities that we've received, and we're still sifting through from our current clients and potential clients about what they'd like to see in Protocol Builder. And three, to incorporate Chat GPT, and AI in some capacity, or possibly in multiple capacities. Some of the discussions ongoing for that is, as I touched on earlier, using AI to generate the synopsis, using AI obviously for suggested language. There's been discussions about, based on the type of the research design you want, or what indication you're researching, having Protocol Builder either scan the internet for what's publicly available to help you develop those methodologies, and really help you kind of do a little bit more of the science of the protocol. Double-edged sword there with some of our clients, especially our university clients, worried about plagiarism, and people, first time researchers, you want them to think through the process. So we're going to have probably the ability to either decide to turn that on or off, but that's another one of the discussions for AI. And then lastly, as related to consent builder, one of the big requests that we've gotten is to take relevant section or corresponding sections of the protocol that have been written, for example, the risk section, and run that through an AI interface, and spit out in the consent builder risk section, that language brought down to an 8th grade reading level. So an idea to help you populate the consent based on what you've already written in the protocol, but just at a a level that's regulatorily required for subjects. Yeah, so that's kind of what we got planned for AI in 2.0. And just so again, a bunch of other upgrades. We're just figuring out what's most important, and what people want the most, and trying to constantly improve it. So we're always soliciting feedback. Okay. So yeah, let's just take a quick look at consent builder. Actually, let's take a look at that NIH template quickly, just to show you what that looks like. UVA demo H me, and where is it? So the this one here, the phase 2 and 3 IND-IDE trials, or the okay. So this is what it looks like. So I'm not familiar with the actual NIH template, or if you guys are looking for something specific within here, but this is what it looks like. And I don't know, Heather or Andrew, are you all familiar with the NIH template? Is this kind of were you all looking to see if it was like a copy of that? It has the same information, I guess. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, you're muted, Andrea.
Yeah, I think that that's what they were looking for. As
Okay.
a question, but maybe you could, Heather, was there a little bit more detail for the specifics of what they were interested in with the NIH?
Let me
protocol
look at
template?
this specific question. I think it was a question because a lot of studies we do will come from, the sponsor who has a sponsor protocol. But since UVA is trying to increase the number of NIH applications, they thought it would be useful to see the NIH, protocol builder template here. And just in general, when we do have a sponsored study, or how has that been handled at other institutions, Mike? Do they, we currently just use the sponsor's protocol. But when it comes to the consent form, that we want in, the UVA template, and we have a model consent from a sponsor, how do other institutions handle that within Protocol Builder? And you may be getting to that when you talk about Informed Consent Builder. Yeah.
And so I feel like there's kind of two pieces to that. Number one, the sponsor protocols, this is something that has actually come up as an ask from a lot of CROs that we're talking to. They may come in and do some rescue work for sponsors in the middle of a protocol. So they may be starting with version 3 of the protocol, and Protocol Builders right now is designed to start working from scratch. So one of the things we are exploring for 2.0 is the ability to upload Word documents or PDFs to Protocol Builder and have that populate within the system. And then additionally, on top of that, to be able to upload, again, it's really the Protocol Builder is designed to write it in here. That's the benefit of Protocol Builder. But we do have, for various different reasons, one of which I described, where people may not be starting from scratch and they want their things in Protocol Builder. So being able to upload something that's already been created is something that's being talked about for 2.0. And then also be able to compare revisions between either 2 Word documents of different versions of protocols that you've uploaded into Protocol Builder, or an existing thing in Protocol Builder in a Word version. So trying to give people, a lot more flexibility there. Regarding the consent question, let's go over, and also with this NIH template and all our templates, if whoever's asked this question wants to take a closer look at this, we have PDF like printouts of all of the templates that you can read through. It'll show you all the sample text and the language and all that stuff that's in there, and obviously all the sections and subsections. So happy to send that over if they want to take a closer look at that. Okay, so let's look at Consent Builder quickly, and then let's open it up for questions. Okay, we're already here. And then, sorry, I have like 3 different accounts for Protocol Builder. Okay, so the UVA ICF. Select me. And then, so people use Consent Builder in a number of different ways. NYU, for example, one of our bigger clients, has a number of different templates where they have incorporated different sections based on the type of consent template that they want. And then they have their users choose that template. So you can set up Consent Builder like that. Or the other thing here is, because you're going to have different language for different studies. If you have a study with pregnant women, you're going to need that language. If you have, a genetic study, you're going to need the language, what have you. The other way people set that stuff up is by creating multiple drop downs of sample text. So in whatever section is relevant, you'd say if this is a study with children, insert this language. And then you would insert that. You'd have 5 or 6, and that's how other people have done it, 5 or 6 drop down choices where people can select that language and insert it into the consent form and then further edit it there. The main difference between Consent Builder and Protocol Builder right now, although we're actually going to merge this capability, is that some of the sections in Consent Builder, administrators have the ability to lock them. So if you have confidentiality language, the language about how, research is completely, voluntary, whatever about payment for participants, whatever maybe been vetted by legal, and you want in every single study, and you don't want people editing it. You can actually lock those sections. I'm looking for one. I forget where it is. I think it be this one. Nope. And not allow people to edit it. So you can have, language within there as well. Again, the functionality and the setup is pretty much the same, but the ability to lock sections, and just thinking about how you want to set it up, whether you want a different template to be chosen at the template creation screen, or maybe you want to give people options for sample text as well. So that's kind of, again, all the functionality is the same, just kind of how you want to incorporate it. And the license for protocol builder includes, or a consent builder, excuse me, includes the incorporation of your main consent form or whatever consent form you want into the protocol builder format. So we'll take that, we'll set this up with your administrators, and then vet this with you all to make sure it's right and it's the way you want it. And then go from there. And if you want to make more templates from there, or if you want to incorporate it in everything in sample text, drop down options, whatever works best for you. But yeah, I want to give the opportunity for some questions. If that's all right. Do we have any?
Yes, you have quite a few actually. Some of them you have touched upon for answers, but if you wanted to go a little bit more into detail, I think that might be useful. So I have one question about, can you set up a group of staff and add that group to several protocols?
Yes. So right now, the way some people do that is by using the copy feature that I showed. So what you can do, and one of our clients actually had this idea and made me think about it, is create kind of like a bare bones protocol with, if you have a number of people that are always going to be on the protocol. So you would, kind of just set up, oops, the consent form, set up your cover page with all the people that are always going to be on that study, and then just duplicate that every time you have a new study. So you'd add Bill Smith, Bobby Jones, whatever, Heather Ferrari, and then have that without any information set in, and then just make a duplicate of that in 2.0. And then also there's the research admin function as well. So we call it research admin because that's kind of like the most applicable. But if you want someone that's automatically added to every single protocol through the admin function, we can set it up where every protocol that's created will have that user automatically added.
All right, that's good. Okay, so another question that we had that you've touched upon a little bit is, can you import sections into the system? For example, if you write them in Word, could you copy and paste them over into the system?
Yeah, you can copy and paste from Word. We just asked, so this is has HTML coding in the background, protocol builder. Word has its own separate coding. So to be completely sure that it's going to come out correctly in the output, we would ask that you copy it, paste it into a word pad, because that strips the coding, and then paste it into protocol builder. So again, protocol builder is designed to be written in protocol builder. That Microsoft, copy and pasting from Microsoft Word, obviously something we've heard a million times. You can do it. You just have to strip the coding in the fashion that I just mentioned. But that's another thing at the top of the list for 2.0, where you're not even going to have to go through that step. And additionally, we're hoping you can just upload your protocol to protocol builder and then automatically populate it for you.
Excellent. So I know you touched a little bit upon versions, but we also had a question, so maybe you could just go into it a little bit more. We had a question that the user wanted, or the attendee wanted to know if this would only work for initial submission or if it could be used for modifications as well. And
yeah, absolutely used for modifications. Let me go back to our test protocol. So again, every time you turn all your gray circles green on the side, that's where you're going to get that versioning functionality and for amendments. That's the benefit of doing like this. Again, we give you the freedom to output it whenever you want, but turning all these gray circles green allows you to publish. And so within each version, when you go from version 1 to 2 or 3 to 4 or whatever, protocol there's also automatically going to give you this summary of changes, and then so that's effectively your amendment. We've had requests. I think University of Michigan is asking for this about minor and major amendments and kind of editing the cover page a little bit more, so that it says amendment 1 on it when you publish it the second time. So they just want that automated. So, but when you publish and you output, you'll have the Word version. So if you want to just like write in amendment 1, obviously you have that freedom as well. But definitely discussions with clients about minor and major versioning, and then having the cover page be a little more malleable for amendments.
Excellent. Yeah. So this one is also a little bit related to or I think you could explain it in the same vein. So if you have a protocol that first needs to be reviewed by the FDA prior to the IRB review, can you explain how that process would work? And I think that it would probably be related to a download and then or maybe ancillary review. I'm curious how other institutions have handled that.
Not a question that I've heard, but just off the top of my head, going back to my director of research compliance days, how I would approach that is, you're probably not going to want to start versioning at that point, right? Because you're still going back and forth with the FDA. So I would, you just use the output function to, get a Word document that you could send over to them. Again, turning the gray circles green will start versioning for you, and it might be too early in the process for that. So, I mean, that's kind of how I would handle it. I would use the output function, before you have that official version 1 within Protocol Builder. This doesn't route to the FDA for submission or whatever, but you can add, or we could add a box called FDA contact, if you want to give them access to your protocol and Protocol Builder. I don't know if I would recommend that, but yeah, that was a possibility.
All right, that's good. It's good to have different options. Okay, so we had another question for, can you pull sections from one template to another?
I'm not sure, like, I don't know if you can interpret that like
I think it's similar to like duplicating a protocol, but maybe just duplicating one section of the protocol into a new protocol. But
yeah, so I would
it
propose the same resolution that I did for the question about setting up the study personnel. Whereas if you have a section that you're gonna know has the same language and you don't want to rewrite it a million times or have a Microsoft Word document that you're pulling from, I would set up that bare bones version of the protocol, where if it's the risks that are going to be the same, I would go to the risk section, write that in, and then just duplicate that so you can have carbon copies of that with the same language.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So how does the system handle inserting figures and tables? I know you covered that a little bit, but can you adjust the format and placement easily within the document?
Yep. And one thing that another client asked about for 2.0 is being able to choose landscape mode or portrait mode for each of these sections. It's one of our sponsor and CRO clients. But sometimes, and even the table right now goes to 10 by 10, which obviously you can further edit on your own. But they were saying sometimes we got rows of 35 by 35 for tables. So, we're working on that for 2.0 to make this bigger. But right now you can obviously edit anything within here. And then as far as the outside graphics, that is, yes, from what we call charts. I'm vying for this nomenclature to be changed to like figures or pictures or something, or whatever, because it's not really charts. But You basically just upload your picture to here just by clicking add chart, choose your file, PDF, JPEG, JPG or PNG from your computer, and then insert it into the relevant section where you want it. So yep, you can import outside figures.
Yeah, that's good. So I know we're at time now, and we still have quite a few more questions. So maybe we'll send those to you to get some answers, and then we'll send them out to the group here today. So
That works.
yeah, excellent. And thank you so much. I'm really excited that you know, we had the opportunity to view this, and yeah, we'll be in touch with more questions, and we'll send out the recording for folks that couldn't make it. And
Yeah, sounds good.
Yep.
All right, nice for everyone to meet me again. I can't see you all, but have a good weekend, everybody, and I'll talk to you later, Heather and Andrea.
sounds good. Thank you so much.